everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever may be the case for you, and welcome to Organic Marketing Friday here on Exponential Traction. Give yourselves a big round of applause for being here on time. Hello, everybody, for being here. Entrepreneurs, leaders, if you're into marketing, if you're into sales, if you are someone who is an entrepreneur in transition, meaning to say you have an idea that you'd like to put out there and test it, whether it makes sense as a business, then this is the call for you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hello, everybody. My name is Mac Comandante. I'm an international trainer and coach. And over the past 5 years alone, I have coached and trained over 20,000 entrepreneurs, help them build confidence to grow their sales by 30 to about 300% and helping them remove constraints towards exponential growth. How many of you would be interested with any of that? Just type interested in the comments box right now so we know how we can support you. So I'd like to bring you guys Cameron Arsenault all the way from Colombia this time. Cameron, would you like to introduce yourself to everyone who's watching?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome in, everyone. Super excited that you guys are all here. As Mac mentioned, we're in a new spot here today, new country. Previous one, we was in Mexico, and now we're in Colombia. So, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Cameron Arsenault. I am the founder of the Operation Freedom community and creator of the Freedom System. And our goal is very simple. Our goal is to help, coaches, experts, authors like you guys to be able to create systems in your business so that you can enjoy the freedom to travel the world. So that's kind of the big goal for us, and we help people implement the systems they need to market themselves effectively, to run their business as an operation. So that's kind of the 3,000 foot view of kind of what we help people do. I'm excited to be here with you guys to help you guys with the marketing aspect here today. And last but not least, we want to introduce Mr. JL. Do you want to introduce yourself, brother?
Hello, good afternoon. Oh, good morning, everybody. I'm JL De Castro, and I'm an animator and traditional artist, and I do sculptures and animation for short films, and I also do video editing for marketing. And hello, everybody.
Hello, everyone. Good, 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 good. Team, let us know where you're at right now. Just go ahead, type your location, okay, wherever maybe in the world you are. Just go ahead, type it in the comments box. Let us also know what is it that you do. And remember, hey, you can participate in this conversation, okay? If you have any questions, if something comes to mind, all you have to do is type it in the comments box, okay, so that we can properly help you as well. Okay, Cameron, you've talked about freedom. You talked about traveling the world. Can you tell us where have you been by far over this past what 3, 4 years? Okay, because you're able
Uh,
to figure this one out.
and that's one of the really exciting things. For me, it's just to be able to travel, and to be able to be what your countries around the world now. So I've been in a few countries around Latin America, Costa Rica, Guatemala, Mexico.
Yeah, hold on. I think your audio is breaking up. JL, is it just me or yeah, it's also breaking up from your end. So yeah, can you just repeat that one?
Cool. So I was just saying, so
Better.
essentially for me, did that better? Hopefully. Perfect. So for me, again, travel is a personal passion of mine. I like being able to explore and to be able to experience new cultures, new food, experience new languages, all those amazing things. And being able to run a business online enables you to, do that from anywhere in the world, which is something that I'm super grateful to be able to do. I've been now around some of Southeast Asia. I've been around Australia, New Zealand. Now, the past couple of months, or the past half a year, actually, I've been around Latin America, Costa Rica, Guatemala, Mexico, and now in Colombia. So that's why I'm super passionate about helping people implement the systems into their business so that they can have that freedom. Now, you don't need to travel the world like crazy like I do, but just having the freedom that comes from being able to do that. It's something that I'm really passionate about helping people achieve as well.
What I like about this is that you are living it. Okay, so there's so much congruence with what you teach. So, ladies and gentlemen, okay, how many of you agree with me that the reason why you would want to make that money, you want to become financially free to begin with, and be able to have that business work for you, is that so that you would have better choices for you? Like choice in the comments box, right? What would that choice be?
Mm.
The choice in terms of how you want to spend that money, where you want to go, and the people that you want to be with, and how you would like to run that business based on your own terms, not because Others are actually defining it for you. Is that you? Just type yes in the comments box as well if in one way or another that has inspired you. Okay, good. Cameron, what is it that we're going to be talking about today?
Yeah, this one is something that I feel a lot of people have this thought whenever they're starting, especially first starting out in business. And that's really this idea about, being an introvert,
Mm,
right? So it's funny because a lot of people, will kind of see what I'm doing now and, maybe see some like content online. They'll think I'm this, big extroverted person who, loves to, speak like on stages and virtual, that kind of thing. And really like I would still very much define myself as an introvert, as I think a lot of people do. And I find that with so many, we have these big leaders that we see in your industry, whatever you guys industry you guys are in, we see these big like extroverted leader that's kind of put on a pedestal, and you need to be, super excited all the time and get people amped up. And I think the reality is, I think a lot of people feel that because they don't identify themselves as that person, then they don't feel like they can be a great leader. They can be successful in business. And so, what I want to explore today throughout our conversation is just looking at, what are ways that we can be successful, even if we're not this, great big extroverted type of person. So that's kind of really the topic that I'd like to explore in our conversation today.
I like that because, yeah, even for myself, I'd consider myself an introvert. I'm a very private person. Okay, and a lot of people see me online, but the truth is that I'm very private and very introverted at that level. There are times when, and that is why every single day, for example, I would allocate a specific time when I allocate that time just for myself because that's me replenishing my own energy. Okay, so while extroverted people get more energy with more people around them, for me, I have to find a way and time to just be with myself. And I know JL can
Yeah.
also relate to this. JL, what do you think about the topic for today? I'm an introvert, therefore, oh my gosh, how can I do business if that's the case?
Yeah, really perfect for us because I am really diagnosed as an introvert. I had a girlfriend once who was a psychologist, and it's one of the objections that a lot of introverts make, especially artists, is that we just don't want to be around people.
Mm,
Like during the pandemic, when a lot of my friends were depressed because they're at home, that's like Disneyland for me. you know and I kind of tend and you hit the nail on the head that it's about energy management. That's where the real difference between extroversion and introversion. That yeah, we lose energy when we're networking, and that's kind of a fear also that I shared when I started um, working on my own hours, going into entrepreneurship. And it's just a networking part that I did not like so much. And then that's pretty much the stereotype for artists as well, that our friends are pencils and brushes. But it really is just an issue of where we get our energies and how to manage everything from there. Just like what Cameron said as well.
Yeah, and one of the things I think for me, like, it just reminds me because again, a lot of times what we see, like you said on social media on the outside is maybe the introvert who's just using that energy for that short period of time to be able to go and to do that thing. Because look, let's face it, at the end of the day, if you want to be successful in business, you need to get in front of people, or you need to find a way to interact with your prospects, to interact with your potential clients, and all those things. Again, like you said, it's just a matter of managing that energy. But that's one of the things, is we get this kind of distorted view of what that looks like just because we see only what people are putting out there. And it just reminds me a lot because, again, like, a lot of people, like, whenever I tell people that I'm an introvert, people are like, what, like, really? And it just reminds me, like, whenever I was first starting out in sales, I still remember, like, it was the middle of the day. We were sitting out front of a shopping center called IGA. This is over in Perth, Australia. And our job was to stop people on the sidewalk or on the side of the road, and get them talking about the charity that we were working on behalf of, and get them to donate, right? So I still remember, like, my kind of mentor, the person who taught me how to get started in this industry, like, had to tell me repeatedly, like, you need to speak up. Like, I was super shy, like, I didn't want to, like, reach out to people. I was super scared of it. And just contrasting that to where like I literally couldn't even like raise my voice enough so people could hear me, to now where getting to speak on kind of virtual stages, I guess, such as this, and being able to help people around the world build their business. Just that huge difference. Just know that just because you feel shy, you feel scared, those sorts of things, doesn't mean that you can't be good at it. It's just like anything, it's a skill that you need to learn.
Good, good,
Right?
good. So let's ask the audience here. How many of you can relate to that? You just feel shy approaching people. Okay, just type me in the comments box. And I'd like to greet Tina. Tina says here that, hey guys, I'm tuning in, having you as my background. That's Tina Pilones. Okay, good. So, yeah, and I'm just going to ask the question, Cameron. Okay, how are you able to get past that? Right? Because I find that as a difficult
Yeah.
job, to be honest. Right? And seeing, people in the malls and so on, and they approach you. My natural tendency would be, I'm gonna take another route, another path. Okay, now here he comes. Okay, no, 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 no. Okay, so and I
Yeah.
see also a lot of rude people, right? That as
Yeah.
these are people who have very good intentions, right? For charity, and that's their job. They're just doing their thing. Okay, but when they now start to approach others, you can see people start to frown, and they would give them the palm. No, 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 and it's like what? They
Yeah.
haven't even said anything yet. How
Yeah.
do you get past that?
Yeah. And that's one of the big things. And it's one of those things where it was kind of almost like a small version of running your own business, I think. Right. So it was such a powerful experience to get to understand, like, what, whenever someone says no, what do they really mean? Whenever you get rejected, like, how do you come back from that? How do you handle that rejection? Right? Because in business, you're going to hear no a lot. You're going to get rejected a lot, but it's one thing that I found really helped. And I think that this is same for having that specific experience, but also just for any kind of negatives that you're going to face in your business in general, is really digging in to figure out, like, why are you doing it? Like, just like you, like, Mac, like, I was super scared going into it. I was super shy. Like, that's why I could barely even speak. But there was a reason I chose to do it. I put myself in that situation because I knew the freedom that I wanted to create for myself, right? I knew the business that I wanted to create was going to require that I put myself in those uncomfortable situations,
Mm,
right? So having that why, having that reason why you're doing it doesn't matter whether you're reaching out to somebody, it doesn't matter you're doing something else that you find difficult, right? Having that why and that reason why you're doing it is going to allow you to push through those times that are typically harder, that are scarier, right? That you're uncomfortable with. And then by doing that, it gets easier and easier every time you do it as well, right? Just like as with anything, because you're going to get better and better as you practice it more.
so right, and that's great, but let's take this a bit deeper, Cam, right? So, because when you talk about why are you doing this, everyone would have their own answers to that. Okay, I'm doing this for my family, that's why I'm working, and so on and so forth. And others can get so magnanimous around that as well. So, but
Mm.
even if people know their why, there are certain reasons why they still don't take action or they still feel shy. Okay, and they still say,
Yeah.
I'm an introvert. Okay, so based on what did you realize for yourself? Okay, what was some of the beliefs that were there that was actually kind of feeding that sense that, okay, I'm an introvert, therefore I just might as well stay with myself, and probably I'm gonna ask JL as well. What did you realize in your own journey? Okay, what was getting in the way?
So I guess I'll jump in first. So I guess the one thing, again, there's a lot of beliefs that kind of come up whenever it comes to that reaching out bit, and it comes to that, putting yourself out there, that a lot of people struggle with. It can be, thoughts of, right, is what I have to offer really valuable, right? It could be thoughts of, what if this person, right, doesn't want what I'm offering? What if I'm, interrupting this person, and they're going to be rude, right? And just like that has happened where people will be rude, but one of the things is realizing that that's a reflection on them and not on you, right? So I'm trying to think of some other ones that would kind of come up, but a lot of these are just what's happening is our mind is just playing out these scenarios where we don't actually know what's true or not, right? We're just making up these scenarios in our mind, like what if they're what if it's not the right time for them? What if my offer is not good enough? But you're never going to know any of these things until you actually put yourself out there and do it,
Mm,
right? So we can sit there for a long time and start to ruminate over like the what ifs and like what about that. But until we put ourselves out there, we don't actually know what's true and what is that we're just making up in our minds.
very nice.
How about yourself, Jay? Was there any kind of things
So,
that you want to add to
so
that?
before I go to jail, so Cam, what you're saying is that what I'm understanding here is you're shifting the focus, right? From that self-loathing, from that negative self-talk, okay, and you focus on really understanding to begin with, you know, what is the state or yeah, just breaking it, okay, and just going out there and then doing it, right? And thereby
Mhm.
you'll be able to validate whether what you're really thinking about is true or not.
Yeah, and then I think that's a big part of it, right? Is just kind of getting over that negative self-talk in your own mind. And then one thing as well, just to kind of go a little bit deeper with that in terms of like how do you do that, right? Because and like you said, sometimes we might kind of notice these things, but like we still find ourselves being held up by them. And I know one of the things that really helped me, and one of the things that I know is going to really help has helped their clients. One of the things that can really help you guys that are out there listening right now is by having a structure,
Mhm.
right? That's going to give you more confidence because all of those questions that are going on in your mind are coming about because you lack confidence in getting yourself out there. However, if you have a good structure, right, you know that this is going to work, you know that this is an effective way to reach out to people, then that's going to give you the confidence again to make those first steps, the confidence to be able to ignore that voice in your own head that's telling you these negative things, and giving you that structure to be able to confidently reach out and kind of start that process and start getting better and better at that process as you move on. So that's one thing I just want to add that I think has really helped me, and that's one of the things that we help our clients with, is creating that structure and knowing how to do that confidently.
Nice. Before we'll go to JL, let me just read this. Okay, Tina said that, okay, me, I'm really shy deep inside. It just doesn't show. I need to psych myself up and ground myself as to why I would do what I do. And when I'm already building up my own excitement, then that's when I can just flow and approach. Okay, so she posted that here in Facebook. Okay, how about you, JL?
Yeah, actually, not just to repeat what Cameron said, but that quote, it said two words that struck me. One is flow, and there's another one is just getting towards that action, which is putting myself in front of the camera. And that was the biggest step that I had to get to, which is getting over my camera shyness. And I think for introverts, we don't want to show ourselves to a lot of people. That's one thing that I know, especially for artists. We like to be behind the camera, to be in front of the canvas. And one of the reasons for the camera shyness is really the self objection. Now, self objections can come from a lot of places, from past experiences, negative experiences, or even environment. So that means our family and friends who can say things like, no, don't sell your work for $500,000 or something. People want cheap or something. Or don't put yourself out there. You haven't shaven for a while or something. And even the first time that I made a video, my self objection is that I was overweight, and it took me 2 days just to get over the perfection mentality. I made all the lights. I did all the the actions, even the video editing. But I ended up not putting the video out there because there was so much self objection. So how I got to that is, yes, like what Cameron said, is the structure. Now the trick to structure, the thing about structures is that for people who might be going into online business for the first time, there are just way too many structures, from this guru, that guru, and this another guru in my backyard, something like that. And the best structure is the structure that allows flow, like what the person said in that quote.
Yeah,
Flow.
Tina.
I'm sorry.
It's your coach, Tina.
Oh, Tina said that. Oh, yeah. Coach Tina, shout out to you. Flow, yes, one big thing, flow. Because if we're not prepared, things are not flowing, there's going to be a lot of mistakes. That's another thing that we're afraid of as introverts. We don't want to make mistakes, which makes us go into overthinking, perfectionist mentality. So best structures are the ones that make us go into that flow and then makes us flexible.
Hmm. Excellent. Good work. Good share, buddy. Thank you. Team, okay, so if you have friends or if you're an introvert or if you have friends who are introverted, okay, go ahead, tag them there in the comments box, okay, so that they know that this conversation is for them. Or if if you know of someone who is feeling shy, they're not able to approach people, go ahead and tag them here so that they'd be able to watch this video, okay? So these are for those people. This video today is for those people who feel that, okay, I'm an introvert, okay, therefore it's very difficult for me to approach people. How do I get past that? Okay, Cameron, you talk about structures, okay, and yeah, so let's just go ahead with that. What are some of the structures then? Okay, that can, just can get you off your chair, get you to stand, get you to move. Okay, how are you able to do this?
Yeah, so I know one of the things, this is something we talked about, something that I find now, a really simple, like, a simpler, complex thing. Look called KPIs or key performance indicators. Now, what this is essentially breaking it down into the numbers, right? Ultimately, a lot of things comes down to being effective with marketing and selling online and or anything for that matter is really looking at you need to speak to enough people to skill, right, to do that, but to be able to find the people who are ready to take that next step, ready
Okay,
to
sorry,
enroll in
buddy,
your
you're breaking up.
a little
You're breaking up.
bit better here now. Do we want to try to reconnect the mic?
Yeah. Okay, so while you're doing that, I'm just imagining myself. Okay, say for example, if I'm gonna approach someone, what would be a good technique? Should I just, try to capture the, should I do eye to eye contact? Should I be in front of their path? Try to anticipate, okay, where are they gonna be turning, where are they gonna be going next, and just be there right in front, right? Is that the way to go about it?
Yeah, I know with that it's kind of funny because again, if you guys have been in a situation where you've seen that person who's like in the mall, in the shopping center, and you thought you were being really sneaky by like pretending that you just got a message or pretending that something's interesting on that side as you walk past, just to burst the bubble, guys, like it's really really obvious. When you're on the other side of it, it's like you can really tell. So it's kind of funny, but again, ultimately, it's not like it's just I understand because what's happening. It's not that those people are really rejecting you. This is one of the big things, kind of one of the really big breakthroughs when it came to that mindset, is that we're scared to reach out, right? Because we feel like we're introverts. We're scared to have that interaction. Well, that's exactly what they're doing as well from the other side. They're just scared to have that interaction, right? That's why they're trying to avoid. That's why they're trying to not engage, is because they're scared about the same thing.
Hmm. And the truth
It
is
has nothing.
that
Yeah.
kind of behavior, Cam, is also what a lot of entrepreneurs are doing online, right? It may not be inside the mall, but right,
Yeah.
even online, they try to be sneaky. Okay, they join other groups and so on. But the truth is that they just don't know how to approach,
Yeah.
right? So,
Yeah.
and again, this is all coming from the team. The reason why we're talking about this is that how many of you notice that this is really coming from a limiting belief. That's the reason behind it. So whether you're doing this face to face or you're doing it online, okay, the pattern is the same. The circumstance may be different, but the behavior is actually the same. So if we can help you get past that, that is it that we are trying to do. So yeah, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, no, and absolutely. And again, like that pattern you see comes up in a lot of different ways, right? And one of the ways that's really easy to online, and JL kind of alluded to this, right, is we go into this, okay, we're just going to keep working and we need to make things better actually before we put things out there. And then, we're about to like, actually, we need to improve this thing a little bit more before we put ourselves out there. And we just get into the state of trying to build it and build it and build it without actually getting it out there and testing it. And that's one of the various ways that it shows up where people are just scared to kind of do that in the online space. And again, just bringing that back to having the structure and the KPIs, it's just by being able to just focus on the process, because that's ultimately when we're keeping track of KPIs, the numbers of how many people did we reach out to, how many people, did we engage in a conversation, how many people came onto a call, how many people became clients, right? While when we're keeping track of those numbers, what we're really doing, we're just focusing on the process. We're not focusing on the individual person who says no, the individual person who doesn't respond to your message, right? Because a lot of people are going to do that, and that's totally expected. But by focusing and just making sure that you're going through the process, right? You're reaching out to enough people, right? You're going to get the results out the other side. It's just keeping yourself focused on that and not getting hung up on the negatives, not getting hung up on the one person who tells you no, right? And that's stopping you from going to talking to the 20 other people who potentially are going to say yes.
Mm. Nice. I like how you're doing it because by understanding the process, you're removing the emotion out of it, right? You're not making it personal. I think that's the reason why a lot of people don't even approach because they tend to make the objection or the no too personal. They even label it as a rejection and they end up not speaking to anybody just because of that belief. But by understanding that it's just a process, right? So there's really no emotion behind it. It's just one of those things that you have to do. And you know that if you follow the process, then you'd also be able to measure, okay, what is going to be the conversion rate. If the conversion rate is too low for you, then change the process, change the approach,
Mm-hmm.
right? JL, what do you
Absolutely.
think about that, JL?
Yeah, actually, what is coming to mind is two words. One is natural, and what's essential. So what's natural? When I was in multi-level marketing, so that's kind of like what we were doing. We go into the malls and we try to approach people, and the it was not just unnatural for me to approach people. It's also unnatural for the people in the mall to be approached, right? Unless you're like a pickup artist or something. I don't know. But there are like you get the reactions from people like they get wide-eyed and they look suspicious about you, and then and they're like, wait, I'm just going about my day. I just wanted to pick a book. And so it's not natural, but it's actually more natural to approach people via call, for example. Like in the insurance industry, it's more natural to just receive a discovery call or an open conversation for that context through a call. And it's also natural for the platform. Like in LinkedIn, it's natural to receive proposals in your inbox. It's not natural for Facebook. Those are spammers. And this was really rampant last year. And a little bit so, like a little bit in this year. And I heard a lot of marketers complain about this, that there's a lot of business people who just add as a friend, but with the intention of actually selling something, right? And the other flip side to that is that your own friends in your friends list spam you with messages and say, "Hey, I'm selling this, buy it from me." And that's basically what the message is. It's natural for a person to object to that approach, and it may not be a good process. So what's a better process? And that's where I go to my next point, which is what is essential. Like when happened with my first experiment into video marketing, marketing myself on video, is I was considering way too many processes from other people that I did not know which ones are the things that worked. So it's trimming down the process to the things that actually work, that actually make things efficient, and then just rinse and repeat, recycle, and innovate from there. Now, what do you guys think about that?
I like what you're saying because you've actually brought out the elephant in the room, right? Because in the social media space, that is exactly what is happening. See people adding you online, and then the next thing you know is that they're now sending you messages about what they're trying to sell. Very sneaky, right? That's the behavior that we're talking about. Very
Yep,
sneaky.
yep, double yes.
So annoying. Sometimes then you have a new friend. You have a even with old time friends, right? They find a new gig. Okay, what happens next? The next thing is that they haven't messaged you for years, and the next message you would receive is that they're selling you something, and it's just so annoying, right? So good. So let's talk about that from an organic marketing perspective. Then, what can we do online? Okay, and let me start off with a tip then. Okay, so team, watch this. How many of you notice that on a regular basis we're showing up for you here online in different platforms, in different channels? We're broadcasting this in different media as well. Okay, through here in exponential traction. We do this on now on Wednesdays and Fridays, right? And then if we would get the chance, we'd also go live on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursdays as well. But this is happening on the same time slot at 11 o'clock in the morning, Singapore, Philippine, Hong Kong time, and 10 p.m. Colombia time for now, right? And I think it's at 3 p.m. time for Annie's place, okay, in Australia. So think about this. What are we trying to do? What we're doing is that we're showing you how we can help you. We're talking about the problems that a lot of people face. Okay, and in this case, we want to help coaches, we want to help artists, we want to help entrepreneurs, and we're calling out the elephant in the room. That's the problem that most people actually fear. In this case, in this call today, we're talking about being an introvert and what are the limiting beliefs that goes with that that keeps you from approaching your clients. Okay? So by doing this, what are we doing? Then we are able to establish credibility with you. We're able to establish relationship with you that hey, it's really not that bad. We're here for you. If you need more help, then all you have to do is number 1, join us in the exponential traction community. You'll find the link there in the description part. Okay? Why? Because when you're in the group, then you would have direct access to me, you'd have direct access to Cameron, to JL, to Annie and Jerica as well. And all the other people that are already in the group. That can be an immediate network for you guys. So it's as simple as that. So we're building relationship, we're building credibility with you. So what happens next? Are you gonna sell? Yeah, of course we're gonna be selling. Why? It's because that's our way of helping you moving forward. Make sense? How can we help you if we don't sell? So this now creates a shift with regard to the mindset. What does that mean? See, a lot of people make this mistake whereby they try to be sneaky because they're trying to sell. In this case, no, we're adding value to as many people as possible. How does that look like? The last statistics that I've checked with regard to the Success Academy page, we've reached about 80,000 people over the past week. So think about this. Would it be helpful if at any given point in time, I'm speaking to 80,000 people, right? Building relationship all the time. Okay, I'm constantly showing them how I am able to help them. Does that make sense? Type MS there in the chat box, in the comments box, if that makes sense for you. Okay, so for me, that's one tip that I'd like to give everybody. Okay, go ahead and show up. Okay, show the world how you'd be able to help them. Talk about their problems and don't stop there. Actually solve people's problems. Stop being the world's best kept secret, as what Dean Graziosi would say. Cameron, what are some of the tips that work for you, man? You're on mute.
Thank you for that. There's one big one that I really wanted to touch on, and it's around this reframing of the word no. So to put in perspective of what Max just said, so for those of you out there, right, how beneficial would it be to be able to speak to 80,000 people over the course of the week, right? Be able to deliver value, be able to help people out. And like I said, again, like ultimately be able to try to sell something to help people take that next step. Now, again, whenever you see, I'm going to speak to a lot of people, what's going on in people's minds is that you're thinking, oh my God, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to tell me no, right? And the same goes for us, right? Out of those 80,000 people, there's going to be a lot of those people that are going to say no to taking that next step. But here's what you need to rethink about. Whenever someone tells you no, no stands for next opportunity. So when someone tells you no, right, that's giving you permission to be like, okay, I know this person is the right fit. Let's go find the person who is the right fit. So, question to you guys in the audience: who do you think that we are going to be focusing on? Right, the majority of people, of those 80,000 people who say no and who don't want to take that next step, or are we going to focus on, right, not the no, but the next opportunity? Who's the people that say yes? Who's the people who are ready, that we are able to help them and start making that forward progress in their business? Right? So think of that for you guys as well. Whenever someone tells you no, that's just allowing you to go and find that person, right, that's going to say yes. Now, again, and if we look at, what's the actual way to reach out? Like, how do we do that? I just want to let you guys know, right, if you guys are part of that small percentage of people who are ready to take that next step, then myself and Mac are actually going to be hosting a workshop here in a couple of weeks. They're going to walk you through those steps in terms of how to start those conversations, because that's ultimately the hardest part for most people, right? Especially as introverts, it's that initial reaching out part. That's why we focused on this for most of today. But just a fun little fact for you guys, right? One of the research I was doing, because a lot of people think that, again, we need to be this extroverted, like really, really kind of intense person to be good at sales. But actually, people who are best at sales are people who are good at listening. Not people who are really good at talking, but people who are good at listening. Right? I'm trying to remember if I had some of the stats that were up about this, but I know people looked at over 25,000 sales calls. And then people who are the best at actually selling, actually getting people to take that next step, they talk 23% less than the people who weren't the top performers. Right? So if you guys have the skills and the tools and the strategy to be able to start those conversations, right? Being an introvert, being someone who is not really good at, talking and talking over people, that's actually going to be a huge benefit for you guys. So again, if you guys want to know a little bit more about when that workshop is and what's going to be involved with it, just type workshop in the comments, and then myself or Mac or one of us are going to reach out to you. We'll give you a bit more info and see if it's a good fit for you, to keep yourselves moving forward.
Yeah, you know what, Cam? In relation to that, the best way for you guys to be able to capture that and you stay updated is that join the exponential traction group. Okay, because that's gonna be faster. We know that you're interested. Okay, we know that you are also needing help. We know that you're taking action around that. Okay, and don't worry. Oh my gosh, Mac, you're trying to sell. Okay, so listen. So here's what we're gonna be doing. Would it be helpful if we run a free workshop for you, where we can talk about a process that you can implement, and then from there you can make a decision whether you want to go deeper into these concepts. Okay, so all you have to do for now, just go ahead, join the Exponential Traction Telegram group. It's there in the description, on this post. Okay, you'll find that somewhere there, or there. So right. Yeah, JL, what are your thoughts, brother? How are you able to conquer your own self-limiting belief around being an introvert?
I hang around you guys. That's first, and then the next would be the it's it's really absorbing all the information from people who got results,
Mm.
and it also helped me filter out what are my negative beliefs, and also being challenged, frankly, being challenged by the people who are around me. I find that these are the exact right questions to ask me, not the you know we call them dream stealers back in the day in the network marketing, that like family and friends, they have the best intentions, but they may not have the best advice. That's one thing. So getting the right advice from the right people who have the right results that I actually wanted, through the right methods, by the way, that I find very, very good. And just a short story about that: the sales versus value giving debate or approach. Like, with the sales conversations, one of the quotes I really didn't like when I was in insurance is that I heard from a guy once that I am not leaving this conversation with this person without a sale. Now, what would happen in that conversation? Most likely, it's strong arming. So, what would the customer feel? And that's when I realized that there's a value giving. There's a value, what you call that, goodwill tank from the person who is being sold to, or the one we're having that conversation with. And one of the things I realized with people who spam on message, and I did this too, by the way, that there's no goodwill tank. You're not growing, you're not building a relationship, you're not growing value from the eyes of the other person that you're talking to. So even if they buy from you once and that's because they're annoyed and they want you to go away, it's it's because they'll not buy from you actually afterwards, because they associate a negative emotion already with you, so it's not really likely, which is really why the objections, the way that we frame objections, like what Cameron is had shared, is that that's the no is actually the gateway to build a relationship with this person afterwards. And this is exactly what happened to me this week. I was approaching a person for an idea. Now this guy's a leader. He's actually a great guy, great leader, great. He has a really large community, but he didn't say yes to me because he has a really tight schedule, and that's okay, because at least I opened the door to maybe a yes later on, and I realized that I did not give value to this person yet. That's why he didn't say yes. So that's what I wanted to share with everyone, and that's for all business, even for the arts, that value has to be given first, and it has to be felt by people first.
I like your points, JL. Thank you for bringing that up. The goodwill tank, that is very powerful, man, because I'm reminded of there are some. So we help speakers. I help launch speakers, okay, in our Business in Success Academy, right? And we've had to say no. I had to say no to several people just because we're not aligned with the values. Why is that? They start to say something like this: only a few people signed up for the program. Maybe we should just cancel it. Maybe we should just postpone it and so on. I'm like, no, because you've made that promise to them. Okay, I've run programs where there's only one person who actually bought. I've run a lot of webinars where nobody bought in the end. Right? It doesn't matter because that's exactly what we're doing. We're building goodwill. Because who's gonna buy from you if nobody knows you? Right? So get out of your own head. Stop being so obnoxious about thinking that, okay, I've got all the expertise in the whole wide world. Doesn't matter, right? Because others don't know you yet. So the point is that, yeah, exactly. Build goodwill. That's why you put value first. And here's the other thing that happens once you put value first, it actually activates the reciprocity rule. What is that? So notice this: when you receive, you're more compelled to also give. It works that way. So it's really not that complex. These are some of the psychologies in sales that salespeople, entrepreneurs should be able to understand, not to manipulate, but because you're coming from that sincere intention to help others. Okay, thank you. Very powerful stuff, man. Okay, great. Come, anything you want to add to that?
Um, I think the kind of last thing maybe to leave you guys on, whenever you're looking at um, for those of you guys that believe you're experts, that believe that you can genuinely help people. Again, obviously, like you said, Mac, like we're here just to help people who really truly want to make a positive difference in their customers' lives, right? We're not using any of the tools that we share in here to try to scam anyone out of anything or to try to, to just make a quick dollar. Right? We're here to help you guys that generally want to make a difference. And the big thing is here is like we mentioned, there's a lot of people out there, unfortunately, don't have those same intentions, right? They don't have that same, feeling of needing to genuinely help people and to provide a good service and to be able to deliver a lot of value through our programs, through our products and services. Now, the thing I want to leave you guys with is to think about what we talked about today. Like, reaching out, it's going to be uncomfortable. It's not going to be the easiest thing you do. You're going to get told no a lot, right? But why should we try to do it anyway? And I think one of the biggest reasons, one of the best reasons I can give for that is, right, if you don't know it, if you are the world's best kept secret, then what's going to happen to the people out there who you could be serving, but who don't know about you? We're going to be approached by all those people who don't have their best intentions in mind, right? And because they don't know of any alternative that's better, like you guys out there right now, if they don't know about you, then they're going to have to go with that option, which is not a good option, which isn't going to help them achieve the results that they want. And ultimately is going to leave them feel like no one really cares about them. So that's why it's your guys's, you know, moral duty, obligation, however you want to word it, to get yourself out there, at least let people be aware of you as an option who generally wants to help people.
Very nice. You know what? Today we've helped thousands of people from different parts of the world, right? Okay, but the truth is, where did that journey started? The truth is that, you know, we made a decision to work with a mentor and a coach. But something happened before that decision. And what happened before that? It was my mentor, my coaches who was actually doing marketing approach. I was one of the people that they approached. If they did not approach me, then how would they be able to help me? How would I be able to bring my business to where it is today? You see? So that is why, team, everyone who's listening right now, I know that deep inside your heart, okay, you have that desire to help as many people as possible as well. That's why you are an entrepreneur. That's why you're a leader. You took on this role. You took on this path. Nobody coerced you to be here. You volunteered for it. Why? It's because of that burning desire to be of service, right? So the only question now is that, do you have the right guidance? Do you have the right tools? Do you have the right structure to take it forth? Okay, and I'm just gonna ask you this, okay? So, and I'm gonna speak for myself and maybe collectively as a group here. So if not me, if not us, then who? If you're someone right now listening and you're finding value in the conversations here in Exponential Traction, if it's not us, then who? Why are you still looking for the next person who can help you? All you have to do is take action, receive the help. It's that simple, really. And if not now, then when? Why are you still sitting on the fence? Right? All you have to do to begin with is join the Exponential Traction group. It's for free. Click the link. It's there in the description. All right? Good. Thank you. So with that, we're reaching the top of the hour. JL, anything you want to add and your final thoughts as well? Then let's go back to Cameron and then we'll close this up.
Yeah, and actually extending from what you said just now is there are so many people who is going to be better, and we can go into comparison or analysis paralysis of how of giving ourselves a reason why we're not going to be making this much money doing this. But a very big but is, for example, me, I'm an animator, I'm an artist. A lot of people are, even my students are better than me in a lot of aspects. But there's always going to be something that I can do that's very unique to me. And that's what's going to be getting my niche attracted to me. And those are my final thoughts.
Yeah. Thank you. Cam? You're on mute.
Thank you for the reminder. You know, so make sure this you don't catch the background noise here. But I guess for me, the again, that is one big thing that I mentioned earlier that I want to leave you guys with. Just one other thing, really, it's ultimately, again, to bring this back full circle with, you know, if we're scared to reach out, you know, scared because, you know, kind of we're an introvert, it's just realizing that, again, a lot of those thoughts, right, a lot of those preconceived notions of what it takes or doesn't take to be successful is ultimately, all of those things can be either something that hinders us, right, that holds us back, right? We believe that we need to be this kind of person. We believe that we need to, you know, have this perfected before we do it. We need to believe this thing, or we can look at and choose to focus on the positives, right? How does that help you, right? Being an introvert, there's a lot of positives that come from that as well, right? Like we talked about, you know, being able to listening, being able to focus and get some deep work done in your business, right? It's just, what are you guys choosing to focus on? You guys choosing to focus on the way forward and how you can get the guidance, support, and the structure to help you move forward. Are you going to continue to focus on the negatives, right? And why you shouldn't start, and what's going to, you know, ultimately going to keep you guys as the best kept secret. So what are you guys choosing to focus on? And that's the question I want to leave you guys with as we sign off for the day.
Very nice. Thank you, Cam. Team, okay, entrepreneurs and leaders, listen to this, okay? You cannot be calling on the same person in your business, right? You gotta build those leads. That's why you have to go out there and serve and build that congruence and build that relatability with your audience and with your niche. Show them what is it that you can do. It does not have to be expensive, right? That is why we're doing this. And you know what? Learn it from the best. Who would that be? Learn it from Cameron. Let me show you some results. You know what, Cam? Over the past 3 weeks, I've closed close to about 40,000 US in terms of coaching clients. How? Just by using your system, okay, which is organic Facebook mastery, and then you combine that with the freedom system. See this team? I consider Cameron here is my good friend. I'm very happy that I'm able to call him that. Okay, but at the same time, he's also my coach. Okay, I observe what is it that he's doing. So it doesn't have to be that complex. All you have to do is learn it. Okay, whether you're an introvert, an extrovert, learn how to approach people in such a way that you're adding value. Okay, how do you do that? Join us in the Exponential Traction group. Okay, all of us are going to be there for you. So that's my final message to everybody. Okay, go ahead and break that glass ceiling of productivity. There's going to be more around this. Later on, probably we'll talk about what are some of the tools and systems that you can use in order for you to be able to capture as well as serve. Let's say if you're working with 1,000 leads all at the same time, how do you do that? Okay, you need to have a system to help you capture that. Okay, so I hope this has been helpful for you. Again, be in the group. If there's a topic that you would like us to talk about, post it there. Okay, if you have questions, you can also post it there as well. Truly appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for being here. Happy Friday, happy weekend, everybody. Have a great time, and that's it for today. I'll see you next week. Bye, Cameron.
Our
Thank you,
team.
JL, as
See
well.
you later.
Okay, thank you, guys.
Bye, everybody.